Turn on the video. Hi, it's Cassidy, and I'm less brain dead now than I was at 6:30 in the morning when I wrote, "I don't have anything to say." Yeah, it was pretty. Last couple of days have been kind of a blur for me. Uh, Geez, uh, getting stressed out over the election and everything. We're down to the last 3 weeks to go, and there's a big push at the headquarters, and I'm actually going to be doing some interesting things. I'll be working this weekend. I'll be getting additional training for the get out the vote process, which is going to occur in the last week leading up to the election. In fact, I'll be working the phone bank the weekend before that because even though here in Pennsylvania we're showing Hillary up by 10 points, we're not relaxing. We're making certain we get everyone out. And I'm multitasking here. I just sent a bunch of pictures. One of the women from the phone bank, from the headquarters, actually, I took her to go get her nose pierced, and she got a piercing on the left side of her nose, just like I did, because she was like, "I always want one." I go, "I'll take you." So girl thing, taking women out to get their noses pierced, and now there's another one in the office. She's like, "I should get mine done," and I was like, "I'll take you. I'll get your nose pierced. We'll do that before the election. There'll be like a whole bunch of us that are just standing around with pierced noses. Be a thing." Um, but speaking of the political things, yesterday when I was doing the phone bank, we had Congressman. Let me get his name here. Gregory Meeks from Queens, New York. He's in the New York Fifth Congressional District, which is Jamaica, just south of Flushing Meadows in Queens. He came out and gave a really rousing speech. He was also seeing some other people here in Harrisburg as well. And he's been tasked to go out because apparently he worked very well with Hillary when she was a senator. So, he worked with her a bit. And like I said, he gave a really rousing speech. He was like, this is all about you guys. You're the ones doing all the hard work, getting us, getting people elected, getting her elected. And then Saturday, I am going to get to meet former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. She's coming to our office to kick off a large scale canvassing operation. We're making a last final push to canvass to get everyone out to vote. That's what this is all about now. We've got everyone registered. Registration ended on the 11th. So now it's all about GTOV, get out to vote. Or GOTV, not GTOV. GOTV, get out to vote. And that's the big push now. We're trying to get people to the polling places on 8 November. So, like I was told, it's like, well, you're going to come in next week and you're going to have to undergo training, but I don't think it'll be a problem for you. And I was like, no problem, got it. So, yeah, I'll be there. And like I said, I told them today I'll come in and meet Madam Secretary the First, and I'll wear my red power outfit. I got to impress one of the former Secretary of States, and then I can say I've met two former Secretaries of State, and both of them happen to be women. Go figure. Yeah, I'll wear that, and I said I'll stay and work the phone bank for a couple of hours afterwards. So, yeah. Doing my part to, as we were saying on Facebook, Pussy Strikes Back, Pussy Grabs Back, November 8th. I'm being silly today. What are some of the other things? My writing has been really slow because I've been coming home at night this whole freaking week, and it's just like I'm dragging ass horribly. So I come home and it's like, oh wow, I've really written a lot, and I check my word count. Oh, 110 words. Yeah, it's just nothing's flowing right. It's not. I don't know. I can't. I don't want to say. Look at my hair. I don't want to say it's writer's block because what really writer's block is you're just not in the mood to do anything. So I'm hoping to get some stuff done tonight. I'd like to finish that scene. I don't think there's much to it. I could probably finish that scene up in like 800 or 900 words. I think so. Probably less than 1,000. And honestly, let me get it up here. Let me get my scenes up here. I'm saving stuff. Um, there's almost 2,000 words in this damn thing now. That's me once again, Ms. Wordy. 2,000 words, and I understand how I want to end it out. There's going to be a song. Yeah, there'll be a song. And I was thinking of some other songs that I want to include in. Not necessarily in this novel, but that's the big thing. Music plays such an important part. And if you've ever noticed, if you go out on YouTube and look under my name, you'll see a playlist called Songs, Music for Witches. Music for Witches on YouTube under my channel, Cassidy Frazee. And it has in it every song that either has been so far referenced in one of the prior two novels and the current novel, or songs that I know are going to appear in later novels, because when I'm visualizing these scenes, I put music to them. And it's like, yeah, I'll put this song in there. So, yeah. Um, and I was surprised. There's already been like a couple of hundred. It's like a couple of hundred views already. Um, I found that very surprising. Let me pull it up and take a look at it. But yeah, Music for Witches. And it's actually had 342 views, which ain't all me. I ain't listened to this playlist 342 times. I've listened to this playlist maybe like eight, maybe 10 times. It's had 342 views already. So people have been listening to this. And the only thing it doesn't have, and I actually know there's one last song I want to put in here. I've actually got it in there, but and most of these songs are in order. So as you get toward the end, you're actually seeing, how it's going to end, how it's going to kind of end. The only songs that aren't in that playlist are the ones that Carrie performs during Ostara, and I actually have a playlist for that, and it's private. I'm the only one that can listen to it because I'm not going to let you see it. What I should do is I should move in the songs that I've already done for Carrie's Ostara, so that you can see them, you can listen to them, and that's Lovers in Japan and Burning Rope. I could move those into the playlist, so you've already seen those. But yes, I have the playlist of all the songs that Carrie will play during Ostara, and it's a private playlist. Hold on a sec. Don't pay attention to me. My wig, the hairline is folding under, which is one of the reasons why I'm actually starting to grow my own hair out, and it's coming along kind of nicely. It's actually coming in less spotty in the places that I thought it would, but I'm really not going to know for another month how it's starting to grow, and then I'm going to contact a salon and talk to them about what can you do for somebody who's got patchy hair once they grow it out. Can you put extensions and covers and things in there to cover it up? Because I really would like to have my own hair. It would be nice. After 2.5 years of estrogen, it's actually looks like it's starting to fill in some of the patchy spots, and I was told that can happen. So, that's what I'm hoping for. Plus, the hairline actually shows up quite well here. There you go. Yeah, you can actually see the hairline from the wig, and it kind of shows. And it's been folding down a little bit. Yes, I know you don't really want to see this, and see that's the annoying part is when you got something like that, and then you have to play with it and get it in position and everything else, and it's like, yeah. so much trouble, and it leads to irritation. That's the last thing you want, is this thing, irritating your scalp. One of the other projects I'm going to undertake, and I'm probably going to do this weekend, is I want to timeline out um, Carrie's Polar Express and Annie's Girls Night Out. I want to timeline all those out, so when it gets to the point of actually writing them, I'm doing so many different things here instead of just talking into the camera. Um, but that way I can work them better when I lay it all out in Trivinger. And one of the things is I've actually kind of timelined out everything in the Polar Express. But the thing I really want to do is I have a good idea of what the temperatures were like during that period, because coincidentally, the Polar Express actually occurs around the time of the great 2014 January freeze out we had, where the polar vortex kind of started dropping southward, and all of Canada and most of the northern half of the United States got hit with a huge blast of sub-zero weather. I mean, you'd go outside and the wind chill here in Harrisburg was like 20 below, 20, 30 below Fahrenheit, which is pretty much close to 20 or 30 below Celsius as well. And I'm actually changing the time on that because the Polar Express kind of happened like the week after. So I'm moving the vortex down. They're going to get hit with that's a spoiler. But yeah, it's going to make the Polar Express really miserable. It's going to make the Polar Express really miserable because if they're flying along at like 100 kilometers an hour, or like 160 kilometers an hour, which is about 100 miles an hour, they're going to be like flying in 35, 40 below zero wind chills, which is a lot colder than what they were anticipating. So it's going to slow them up. It's going to hold them up. When they flew back from Nova Scotia, they hit 50 below, but they only did it for an hour. You can't fly in 35 below for 8 hours straight. You'll freeze up. You'll start having hypothermia. So they're going to have to stop and heat up and everything else. And there's all sorts of things that are going to go on. And like I said, I've timelined it out once before, and I want to timeline it out again to get it more exact, because that's just how I that's just how I am. I'm crazy that way. But I also want to do for when Annie goes on her little thing where it's girls' night out, and I'm not going to tell you what it's all about, but you're probably already guessing. She's going to go, and I want to timeline out what she's actually going to be doing too. And there's going to be a big surprise at the end of that. It's going to be something I had thought about that I wanted to do for the story. And I wondered, should I do this? And yeah, I decided I'd go there. So whenever I get to that part, which could be 6 months from now, 8 months from now, you'll see the big surprise that awaits Annie. I wonder what it could be. It's Toothless. See, right back there. Toothless is watching. Toothless. So, but oh, and the girl I took today to get her nose pierced, she lived in Paris, and so I was like, oh my god, Paris is like one of my favorite cities in the world. I love Paris. So, we were talking about that, and it's just so coincidental that Annie and Carrie are going to Paris. They're going to Paris real soon. The city of lights, the city of love, the city of love. You are in the city of love, my chérie. Yeah. Think Annie will start feeling romantic? Because Annie's of the two. Annie is actually the more aggressive of the two. And we all know what Annie wants, Annie gets. minutes. Hmm. What could she be wanting? Don't go there. That's dirty. They're only 13 with little witch hormones, flowing through their bodies at an accelerated rate, magically, pushed and the whole bit. And these kids are a mess. I'm sorry. This is really the roughest. When I say this is really the roughest time, it's like you're getting married, you're with the person you're going to be with the rest of your life. I mean, literally the rest of your life, because even if you were to go off and marry someone else, you're never going to get this person off your mind. You're always going to be feeling them. You're never really going to love anyone else except this other person. And now you're hitting puberty full on. It's just like really raging at this point. And it's got to be tough. It's just tough to sit there and like, you know, the only thing that's preventing us from jumping each other at this moment is the fact that we want to find out what happens. We have to go through this process of all these bindings, and we might get some really cool magical thing out of this at the end. But oh God, I really could, I really would like. It's tough. My kids, I torture them. Carrie, I could make a bad joke about Carrie. Carrie desperately wants to discover Annie's chamber of secrets, but we can't do that. No, no, no. Yeah, I know. I'm getting uh, Boltre. We don't want to talk about that, but yeah, the kids are all the kids about this time. The sea levels are tough, and we don't want to talk about like what Alex and Penny have been doing with their boyfriends. We know Alex likes to go off with her boyfriend and just kind of have a few private moments alone, and we don't want to go into what that is. I mean, these kids are 14 years old, 15 years old, 13 years old. They can kill you with a thought, and they're maturing at a much faster rate than normal kids their age. So, you know, it's tough. It really is hard. Witches. I love my little witches, but man, this is a weird time in their lives. You know, it's not going to get easy. So, I got a lot of things I have to do, and I also got to pay all my taxes. I just made my first payment on my quarterly taxes before I started doing this video. Ugh, I hate I hate this time of year because I do have to do taxes, and it's just a pain in the ass. It's just horrible. I just hate paying. I hate paying my taxes because it's always like a struggle for me to get my taxes paid. Of course, IRS doesn't take it's a struggle as an excuse for not paying your money. They kind of frown upon that. Yeah. But it was such a struggle for me to pay my taxes this year. I just kind of blew it off. No, you don't want to do that. As it is, I'm still going to end up owing a bunch of money next year, and I'm kind of like trying to go, where the hell am I going to get this money? I may have to dip into a 401k to actually pay off what I'm going to owe. So we'll see. But, so that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. That's where I'm going. Crazy is probably the best way of putting it, but yeah, I'm on my way. So there you go, and I will probably have a post up tomorrow. Maybe I'll show some pictures of Congressman Meeks. I took a couple of photos. I actually have one photo of the full time staff that works at our headquarters with Congressman Meeks, so you get to see that. Yeah, there you go. I'm making all sorts of goofy faces, so I will leave it at that. It's almost 20 minutes now, so I will see you later. Take care and have a good evening.